would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Midnight Terrors podcast, and also welcome. This is our first video podcast here, and what better way to break it in than some of my favorite entertainers. I have here with me 4 members of Charleston's Absent Friends. You have seen me post about them many a time on our Midnight Terrors podcast Instagram. They're the local Rocky Horror Charleston Shadowcast. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're excited.
Hello. Awesome. Yeah, 7 months in the making.
My first time, go easy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of our first time, actually.
Yeah.
First time for me.
First time for me.
For what, a podcast?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's all
She
of our
doesn't
first
remember.
times,
Who
It's all
knows?
good.
Maybe she's done a couple of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Jody, how excited are you?
I'm pretty excited, actually. It's my first time being on any podcast.
Yeah.
He squealed a moment ago before we started. Very girly squeal.
see?
So
That was Scarlett's fault.
I will follow shortly on the girly squeal because I am excited to have you all on here. Did we want to do introductions? We know you're the local Rocky Horror Charleston Shadowcast.
They
Do we
know
wanna...
who I am.
obviously.
Enough said right
Everybody
there.
knows.
Do we want to go down the line and do introductions?
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want us to introduce the cast as a whole, like who we are, or do you want to do
Let's-
individuals
Individual.
first?
Let's do... you
People
can
here?
What's that? Let's do individual first.
Okay.
So we'll say name, obviously what character you are, and your role on the team.
All right. My name is Jules. I'm currently Dr. Frankenfurter and Magenta. I'm really excited to start playing her again in July. That'll be awesome. I've been on cast it'll be 5 years later this year. And I'm currently the cast president. I also do our socials. So if you're chatting with somebody, it's me. So hello to everyone I chat with.
All right. I am Nick. I am Janet on cast, as you can maybe tell. I'm also the director. Also have been on cast for 5 years. And yeah, that's me.
Forgot to lean in.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta...
Check.
Yes. I'm Scarlett, the vice president right now. Right this season doing Riff Raff and Frank. Also do Magenta with the Myrtle Beach cast as well. And doing it just as long as them. We all had our first show the same night.
Yes.
Yes, that's a story we can
Yes,
get into
absolutely.
maybe.
Later,
That's great,
yes.
And who's this guy?
I'm Jody. I'm one of the original founders. I've played
Legend.
Legend.
We should have drum rolled.
Dr. Scott. I was Riff Raff for the most of the time. I've played Eddie. I've done Frank one time, and there's no video evidence of that.
Man. That would be
right
cold.
Right now, I'm the semi-retired ex-cast director who just helps out wherever he's needed.
Awesome.
We bring him around quite a bit. We force him to come.
Yes.
I love it.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for somebody to laugh.
Like you gotta force that.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I probably should have made the microphones dicks to fit the theme,
man.
Then we would have been
Missed
real close
opportunity.
the whole time.
Shame.
Then you'd be leaning in.
in and out.
It's too
and
appetizing.
in and out.
Learning
Like
experience.
it as is. So
Yeah.
It's all good. Learning experience.
Yes.
So excited to have you all on. Jody, I remember actually seeing you. My first Rocky Horror Shadowcast experience was me going in completely blind, not knowing anything about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
that's the best way to do it.
Except for the poster of Frank in the iconic position. And I went in, my friends brought me in, they said, "Oh yeah, tell them it's your first time here." Did that, was labeled a virgin. I got the V and a penis on my face.
Yes.
Loved every
You
second
got
of
a
it.
penis. We usually charge extra for penises on faces, but
I was spoiled on my first
Yes.
go around. And I got pulled up for the virgin sacrifice, which we'll talk about, which was quite the experience. And been in love with the movie ever since. So this is exciting to talk about it on the show. And but before we dive into Rocky Horror, we always start the same way every time we have new guests. We are a horror podcast, as me, Jules, and Nikki, and Scarlett have talked about our love of horror. But Jody, you and I haven't gotten to a whole lot just yet. But we always start the same way. If you're a horror fan, what got you into horror?
Well, I'll dive in. Honestly, it was my dad showing me completely inappropriate movies. I don't know how young. I think that's a lot of people's stories, right? I don't know how young I was because I just remember horror being a part of my life. It feels like it's part of my blood and who I am. If I had to pick one that really ignited that passion, though, it would have to be Freddy Krueger. He terrified me. I was terrified to go to sleep. He kept me up. I even had my childhood doll who kind of looks like Annabelle now that I'm thinking back on it.
Yes.
I don't know why I thought she'd protect me, but I actually faced her towards the door to protect me. Now looking back, I'm wondering who I should have been afraid of, for real. But I'll say my dad and Freddy Krueger for 500.
Beautiful.
Not the same
That's
person.
great. That's great.
Are we sure about that?
Depends on the day.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And he actually does some cosplay stuff too, so literally depends on the day.
He goes to someone who's like, I am the nightmare today.
Yes.
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 Yes, he does. Well, what got me started into horror, I don't know. I feel like it was just a gradual progression, honestly. I used to sneak watching scary movies at home alone or with my big sister who really just didn't care what I was doing at the time. I feel like my first scary movie that I saw was actually Scream. And then probably next would have been Friday the 13th. Or
Nightmare on Elm
Nightmare
Street.
on Elm Street. Yeah,
Yep.
Freddy for sure. So Ghostface and Freddy were my probably earliest memories.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, I don't know how you say his last name because I've only read it. R.L. Stein.
Oh,
My hi mom. I had every book in the original Goosebumps series. She always made sure to buy me the newest one, and yeah, that I would call that. If not that, it would be watching X-Files with my dad. Hi, Dad.
Yes.
Love X-Files. I mean, yeah, that's what I thought at first. I was like, no, it goes back further. It was Goosebumps.
Yeah.
The entire series.
That's true. I had a few Goosebumps books too.
Oh yeah.
I was addicted to that series and the entire show as well. It was like cuddle
We
up
didn't
with
have cable until I moved out.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, I take it back.
and now you just watch it every day on Netflix.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, but we had Scholastic book fairs, and you walk in, and there's the creepy
That's where mine
section.
came from. That's where
And
mine
you
came
book
from.
it to the creepy section.
Absolutely.
Well, now I'm about to show y'all the age gap of this group.
Okay, here we go.
So,
He's 25, by the way.
I've
Yes.
never been into the slasher type stuff.
Okay.
I don't think a movie needs to have blood and guts just to have blood and guts.
But when
I-
Tolkien first released, he got a first edition.
So, my introduction to horror were the classics, like Frankenstein and Dracula and Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney and all them. And the one that really stuck with me for some reason was The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Love it. Has anyone here seen the movie The Monster Squad, by the way?
I can't say I have.
You talking about the one where they all team up? Old Hollywood, yes.
Yep. It's basically
I
it's basically the Goonies, but with monsters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're gonna watch that
See,
after the podcast.
my voodoo collection, I have a growing collection of the old stuff. When it goes on sale, usually Halloween, $5 for movie, yeah. I'm trying to collect all the ones mentioned in the opening song sequence of Rocky. I have
Yes.
a few. I do have a few.
Yeah, I was gonna say that relates kind of into science fiction.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Like the Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein movie is so good. There's a million things that spoof and copy that. You know, it is such a good story. It's done so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into what you all do with Charleston's Absent Friends and Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, if someone asks you what is Charleston's Absent Friends, what's the answer?
Oh goodness, how do we sum us up?
What
Are we
is-
going in order again?
Or
Yeah,
just-
you all
just
chime in,
whoever.
open discussion.
Whoever wants to add.
It's actually many things. It started out as just people getting together that loved a movie and showed up at a movie and decided to start wearing costumes and started dancing in front of the movie. And we was like, why don't we just do the whole movie? And that's what it started out to. And it was like 8 or 10 of us. And we just had a blast. And somehow it carried on 20 years, and now these people mainly have turned it into something way much more than we ever thought it would have been.
But it all started with you, and we would not be here without that. So
Absolutely.
our thanks to Jody is really endless. So we always like to come back to that. But first, I would say, if someone's like, well, what do you do? I usually go, do you like Rocky Horror? That's what we do. We shadowcast. We do Rocky, if you will. But it has morphed. We're now, especially this year, we're kind of just becoming entertainers, especially with queer events. Pride, we're doing dating shows, we're hosting. We were just asked to do other shadowcast films, which we'll get into later. So really just entertainment, comedy.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to add?
It's tell me the question exactly. What is
If someone asks
Charleston's
you,
Absent Friends?
if someone asks you, oh, what is Charleston's Absent Friends? How do you sum it up to people?
Oh, it's just a good fucking time with people
I
with
was
the same
just thinking,
dirty
it's a good
humor.
time.
You have dirty humor interest. That's what it is. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best type of humor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wildly
We all have the
inappropriate.
same inappropriate the jokes, everything like
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, adult entertainment. We do burlesque as well.
consenting
Yeah.
adults.
Consenting adults. Yes. We've been doing drag actually since last October. We've started doing some pre-shows. So really what I love about CAF is it's a vessel to do whatever we love. So
Yes.
that's really what we want is everyone on cast to tap into that and bring whatever they have to the table. So it is kind
Beautiful.
of broad.
At
Yeah.
CAF, we don't just dream it.
We be it. I knew Scarlett would not join into that, so I was going to support you.
It's
with
Mags.
that.
Do the slow zoom.
Yes.
It's Mags energy. That
It
is
is.
hard Mags
It
energy.
really is.
When I edit it later, I will. When I edit the podcast later, I will zoom into just
Yes.
There you go. Yes.
Someone's like, "How's the podcast going?" Just a snapshot of
Yes.
Scarlett's face when
Perfect.
when that joke was made.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful. And so you have a lot of elements of it being a theater group and a lot of acting, singing, musical numbers, drag shows, so many different elements. Does everyone come from a theater background, from acting, singing, performing?
Fuck no.
No.
So that is a fuck no. How about
Yeah. No.
Some.
I mean, music. I mean, band. Maybe
it does
some
help
chorus.
with beats. Band
Yeah,
helps with keeping beat.
definitely. Yeah, but I think it's a lot of us. It's just like we're a group of misfits and outcasts and weirdos that have found joy in this movie and acting alongside it. And so a theater background is not required, but we do have people on cast that do have a theater background, which does help some with dancing and memorizing lines and things like that too. So
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
we've just have some look, the old days. The old days would just be you would find someone and grab someone and say, "Hey, we need you to play this character. You can look at the screen as much as you want."
Yes.
But yeah, so I do have a background, music. I
Yeah.
had a band.
and you've done some acting and
Directing.
directing.
Yes, internet videos and early YouTube.
Yes.
I
yeah.
do. I do
So
have that,
dabbled.
but yes, it can be some people who have a huge background in theater or music, and then there's some people that they still have two left feet that you grab to fill in a spot on the stage.
Yes. Yeah.
We are beyond those times. We have grown, but
We have grown.
those days are still fun.
Yeah.
Other casts you've been in, you're meeting up people that you've never met before, and you just know the movie and you jumping into
Yeah.
it.
You don't even do a run through half the time. It's just
Oh,
like the
God.
show's in
Oh,
2
no.
hours. We're getting ready.
No.
Hi, nice
Yes.
to meet you.
You look
We'll
great.
be dancing later.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
We
What
can-
about you? Do you have any theater?
No, not really. And there's no music, because if I was musical with a face like this, I would have been a rock star. a long
Oh
time ago.
yes, absolutely.
I do have comedy background
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I do stand-up comedy on the side nowadays.
Stage performance.
Yeah.
But not before you started doing Rocky.
No, not before I started doing rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Awesome.
Rocky's a catalyst.
Yeah.
It just opens that door to.
Yeah. And I'll be
Greatness.
the odd man out, and I've done community theater my entire life. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
my mom's an actress, theater minor, major, all the things, everything you can do with theater. She's still doing it to this day. So she stuck me on stage. I had no choice to end up here. It was just my path. So she stuck me on stage. I think my first role, I was 18 months old, a young citizen of Oz in The Wizard of Oz.
That's hilarious.
And then her favorite story to tell is Hans Christian Andersen. I was probably another citizen in the background or something. And apparently one of the last lines of the play I stole and just said, which is Hans Christian Andersen. And I said, that's me. And I was probably, I don't even know, right?
And you were not Hans Christian Andersen.
I was not Hans Christian Andersen at all, but it was me in the moment, apparently.
There we go.
So, very happy to be here. I kind of actually fell out of acting because it felt like a lot of pressure for me.
Sure.
To be on and be perfect, and I was just kind of getting away from that, and Rocky is the perfect mix of getting to do theater without all of the pressure. We mess up and we make fun of ourselves and we work it in, so there's not that ongoing stress to be perfect, which is
Absolutely.
one of the things I
I
love.
tried to mess people up.
Yes, actively.
And
Have them
that's
break.
that's a big part of Rocky, or as a shadow cast of Rocky, because you can go see Rocky and people say stuff at the screen, but when somebody's up there acting, you're expecting them to do what's on the screen, and when they don't do what's on the screen, that's when you get some of your biggest laughs.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like throwing out a good sarcastic riff line when Frank's trying to escape it. Where the fuck does he think he's going?
Yes.
Just, I know, kills sometimes.
Yes.
We'll get into
Just
some of
anything
those
that
those
pops into-
callbacks.
yes.
Oh,
You guys could write a book on
Yeah.
all the callbacks
We
that
really
were in
There
there.
are
should.
books on callbacks.
Yeah.
Like trying to
There's
make each other
records on
break.
callbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Rip answers the door, look dead in the hello.
Yes.
Just trying to make them crack.
There we go. Well, I feel like Rocky's a good introduction to theater, like you said, but also just a way to, with what you all do, there's so much crowd interaction and so much just flying by the seat of your pants with doing what you're doing that you almost can't rehearse that a bunch and come from like a, I'm an actor, background. And I can, relate to actually one of your stories. I was an Oompa Loompa in a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
yes, you
play
were.
as a little
That's
kid.
amazing.
Dream roll.
We had a little fat suit on and everything,
Oh
and a
my
hat with green hair.
gosh.
And we did like the Oompa Loompa dance. Somebody actually stepped in front of me when they shouldn't have. I was probably 5 or 6, and I shoved the kid forward and stopped middle performance to wave at my dad because he was
Aw.
visiting.
That's so sweet.
You got to improv sometimes, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Did it get laughs? Did everybody
think
enjoy
so.
that? Yeah.
I think
You're
so.
like, we'll remember it that way. It had a
Yes.
positive outcome. We'll say that.
Exactly.
I felt like a little celebrity too because there was a green room in there too where we could all just hang out and play with
Oh.
coloring books and
That's cool.
was a
That's
dream.
fancy. Yeah.
And Willy Wonka was not a very happy tale at times, so it kind
No.
of goes with the child abuse that occurs throughout the whole time.
I am
Absolutely.
trying to do community theater, but I couldn't get a role.
Oh, well,
I had it was my friends were doing the sound for Wizard of Oz, and I came out there to do the Cowardly Lion, and I killed it. People were rolling. They called me back in the next day, and they said, "Well, how about the Wizard?" And I kind of stole a voice from Venture Bros, just doing this wizard voice, but people again. Killed, rolling. No one else had a reaction like that. And they just gave it to one of the dads that had 2 kids in the show.
Oh
Like,
my
you know what?
gosh.
Fuck that shit.
It's rigged.
Yeah,
It's
rigged.
rigged.
And even in the gifted and talented education that we all have anxiety and underachieve these days. But I couldn't get on the all-star cast in that either.
well, you definitely have now.
Absolutely.
I'm done with the theater.
we've created our own
It's
theater.
too stiff.
Yes.
Theater's too stiff
Yes.
now after Rocky.
That's true. That's very true.
For us, to each their own.
I
Yeah.
still love theater. I love going to see plays.
Just saw Book of Mormon on my
Me too.
birthday.
Oh, there
Yeah.
I love that play.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you're all stars at this point, killing it with everything that you do with Rocky Horror. What brought each of you, all 4 of you, what brought each of you to Rocky Horror? How'd you find the movie? And, what was your story with it? Jody, you wanna start?
Well, way back in high school, 80 years ago, some friends of mine said, "Hey, let's go see this movie." Okay. let's go get some toilet paper. Let's get 10 pounds of rice. Let's go get this and that. And we're like, what the heck kind of movie is this?
So many birds died.
And
Assholes.
And we went, and everybody else had 10 pounds of rice and toilet paper.
Gosh.
And it was just like a great big party with a movie going on and people saying stuff. And for me, it was like, you ever seen a movie so bad you want to yell at the screen? Rocky gives you that chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Especially with horror movies.
Oh, for sure.
No, you did not, girl.
Don't go in there.
It's behind the door.
And that's a great point. It's because it's appropriate here
Yeah.
at Rocky to be able to do that. So
I don't think it's a bad movie, honestly. It's because it's just got so many it's got so many. Okay, yes, but it's bad on purpose in those things that we're
Yes.
calling bad. It's on purpose. This is from Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's just a different take on it. They're making fun of Bela Lugosi and all that stuff. It's a drag music rock opera of the story of Frankenstein.
Yes.
It's campy.
it has to be campy
It's
bad.
like that, and that's why it's smart because it's on purpose. But what drew me to it was the call outs. When I went there, that's what kept me there. But what drew me to it was this queer thing. Let's just not get too deep. But being trans since as long as I could remember, without going too deep into that was a place that felt like a safe space. And
Absolutely.
and it was
And it
fucking
still
awesome.
is.
My
Yes.
friends all wanted to go, and we all dressed up. And I got a lot of stories of when I was in the audience, I can tell. But I'll see if something is relevant later to a
Oh,
question.
we'll
But
get there. We'll get there.
Oh, for
You
me,
have to tell your story about your knee.
Oh gosh,
'Cause that's a
okay.
biggie.
Okay, so I never really knew what Rocky Horror was growing up, but in high school, our musical theater group did the Time Warp. Just the Time Warp, so they, and I feel like I had heard that before, but I never really knew what it was from. So we go back to class after watching their little performance, and me and my friend were doing the Time Warp, and I actually blew out my knee doing the Time Warp.
Jeez.
And physical therapy for 6 months, full leg brace, so all of that fun stuff. So I wanted nothing to do with it for a while, and then
Bad omen.
still had never
Stay
seen
away.
the movie after that. Then years later, actually, this one gets
Guilty.
me one Halloween, and we go to the terrace and we see Rocky Horror with the shadow cast, and it was really just all over from there. It was just like, what is this? This is insane. There was a lot of alcohol involved.
I was going to say, you have to mention the alcohol.
Yes. And that's all she wrote.
There we go.
Yeah, and then it proceeded from there. At the end, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then she was like, oh, great, because she knew that meant
She's got it.
She was going to get roped
has
into
to
it.
do it. And here she still is.
Yeah.
So, but me, again, my mom is an actress. It's one of her favorite movies. I actually have a picture of her and my two aunts from the 80s, all dressed, headed to a movie.
Yes.
So it's in my blood. She just had a DVD of it, and I picked it up and watched it in high school one day, and I think it must have been one of the anniversaries. They always celebrate every 5 years, the real big anniversaries, because Hot Topic was decked out. I bought a purse. I still have it to this day. It's really cool. Everything I could buy, I bought, and I was a fan. And same thing, went that one night years later, 2018 or so.
Something like that,
And saw the cast, and I wanted to be a part of it. It looked super fun. I didn't know what the hell was going on,
Well, it was
but
funny
I wanted
because
it.
it was actually a night where they didn't have any props. Like the trailer wasn't able to get there or something, so everybody was just improvising.
Winging it.
And really winging it.
Jody
And-
was busy that night.
yes. Had no idea what was going on because I had barely even heard of the movie, much less what is a shadow. I don't know what this is, but it was a great time,
And you're still here, so
Still
hopefully
here.
it's still a good
Oh,
time
it's
then.
absolutely. It's a great time. Yeah.
Love it. I actually remember that first show that I went to, Jody. You were doing your intro to the theater, and you actually said, if it's your first time seeing Rocky, it's not the greatest movie, but it's all about having fun and not being serious and just going with it. And the movie ended, and I was like, It is a great movie.
Yeah.
This movie's awesome.
Yes, it is.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Time Warp still sucks.
Again.
Yes,
The dancing does suck. Other than Nell.
Nell is on
Nell's
every
toes
time.
up.
Every time.
I mean, I'm sure many people can relate, including myself, because I can't dance at all. So that's what I would look like on screen, and that's totally fine.
Like Rocky?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to like rehearse some of these things, you pause the movie and none of them are together.
No.
It's like, for fuck, what do they do with this movie? We can't figure it
Nobody
out.
kn- they're all
the
doing
camera's on
different
the
things.
other side and over here, and yeah.
There you
Yes,
go.
but you could always count on Rocky being the most off.
Yes.
True.
That's why it's fun to be Rocky, because it's like, just do whatever the hell you want to. Really.
get real drunk playing Rocky.
Yes, you can. It's probably better.
Yes.
Just be halfway there.
Yeah.
It'll be a better performance. So
Well, you touched on a really important thing, both of you did, in that, you know, when you watch movies as a kid, you get really into them. You probably do acting out in your living room. I can remember watching The Matrix and King Arthur and doing my sword fight every day
Yes.
and doing the moves. And Rocky embraces that as adults as well. You get to go there, be crazy, dress up in costumes. Everybody's dream. We all want to be the characters on screen, and that's what is so great about the movie.
yeah, and that's so not just us, the actors, the cast. We want our audience members, like what you're saying. It's a safe space to explore cosplay, to explore dressing as somebody different, you know, or somebody you want to be. Like what we just said, don't dream it, be it. So come to our theater. By the way, Terrace Theater is amazing. Gotta
Yes,
give them
they
a shout
are.
out. Terrace Theater, James Island.
Free advertisement.
Maybank
They're
Highway, across from the poorhouse.
There we are. They have great movies. All right. Oh. We're sipping things, guys, for those just listening, okay?
Yeah.
We're not doing anything obscene right now.
Take that. Clip it.
Unfortunately.
Clip the moans.
Yes.
Play it over the trailer.
Taken out of context.
But that's what's cool, just like what you're saying, is if you have a favorite character, if you just want to dress up, however the hell you want to dress up. If you don't want to dress up, believe it or not, I get questions like that on socials. Do we have to dress up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to say no, because it is a safe space. But
You'll do
Scarlett
it if
says
you're
yes.
real.
If you're real, you'll dress up.
Yeah.
If you're a true fan, this is what you have to do.
Yes.
But seriously, come as you are, come as whoever you want to be. It's a safe space. We say that every single show, every single event we post on Facebook. That's our goal. And that's a huge, huge part of who we are. So thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, absolutely. Beautiful. And we've talked about rehearsing for Rocky Horror, but here's the thing, watching the shows, you all do the lines, you know, you do the moves, but there's also so much on the fly stuff that goes into it. You just interact with the crowd, or you yell something else out. Audience members yell something out. No show is the exact same thing. And that's why I love coming back every month. First Friday of the month, every month, by the way. So come on out to a show, because it's a blast.
Terrace Theater, first Friday.
Every
Second. We met the two plugs. We're done. Okay.
On or
Okay.
about 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Or
about
11, or whenever.
Depending on Kevin.
When Kevin shows up, the party starts.
Yes.
And then the other Kevin, that also is dependent on literally pressing play on the
Yes.
movie. We have two very important Kevins.
Yeah, Kevin.
There we go. There we go. Maybe one of these days you'll have to just do the Shadowcast without the movie playing. It's like, oh, it didn't work. We just
No,
gotta.
that's called
We
a play.
have
That's called a play, yeah.
That's called a
we
play.
have toyed with the
It's much
karaoke
harder.
idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you go off the fly, but you also have to rehearse it. So what is rehearsal like, though? Because if you want to keep it natural, you want to keep it ever changing and interact with the crowd and keep it fresh. How much is rehearsed and how much is not? How much is just when you just get there and decide this is what I'm going to do, and you rehearse the whole thing, or you throw it in there while rehearsing? What is rehearsal like for the cast?
Director.
Oh, God.
It's like
Not
this.
on the
These
spot.
two are professional, and I'm the class clown.
Yes. Yes.
But I still know how to block and can dance. Well, not
Absolutely.
dance. I can keep rhythm.
Yes, yes. And that's pretty much it. I think that for rehearsals, we do actually try to do, every now and then, we do try to do like improv exercises. We don't really practice a whole lot of the bits that you see. Some things we might, but for the most part, rehearsal is primarily actually rehearsing the movie. Because I think one thing that we like to kind of stress is if you know this character, if you know the blocking and the role and the lines, then that's just going to eventually take a backseat for you to be able to have more freedom and improv and ad lib, and a lot of that is
automatic
on the
and muscle memory. Once you
Yeah.
have that, then you can just start fucking around.
Absolutely.
You're less in your head.
I'll
Yes.
give you an example of like something that's not practical. Like when I played Frank, our Rocky, so like he runs over and goes, "Well, Brad and Janet, tap tap tap." You all tap 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 because he's tapped on the shoulder, and that's just. But I messaged our Rocky, say, "Hey, do you consent to me picking you up, throwing you over my shoulder, and me tapping your ass for that?" And she said, yes! And nobody else knew about it.
Yes.
And it just, that's like a gag that you can just do on the fly. That's an example of one.
Yeah.
But we do practice. We get the blocking, the spacing, and the dance moves. We really do run through it, and we'll run it back and work on parts, and then we'll do like full, just like a run through, the full thing without stopping. But we got a lot of new people, and they're picking it up. Some of them already like came knowing a lot of their stuff, which is amazing. So we do practice now. Our first show, we never had a practice. We just went out there and did it.
No.
Back in the old days.
that first show.
But that's the thing though,
first
like there are casts that are still like herding cats. Hi, Mary. No, that's her line. But yes, it's like there are still casts where it's just like the chaos is still fun. It's like, yes, we're putting on a higher production here, but like the chaos is still fun.
Oh,
There you go.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we do dress rehearsals occasionally. That's really important when we're working up to a big show, which we'll announce later on the podcast. We have several big shows coming up. But the dress rehearsals help a lot because as if you've come to the show, we change costumes.
Oh, yeah.
So we can't just pause the movie and then go get beautifully changed and
Yes.
put new makeup on and everything. So we do have to practice changing super quickly. So that's getting very open and honest with each other backstage.
Yes.
And
Yep.
pasties are recommended because things are flying
Not
around.
required.
Not
Not
required.
required. We have cast members who don't wear them, and
I would
sometimes
say
there is
most
a
of
slip.
cast
I
members
don't wear
don't.
them.
I wear pasties because
I
those
do.
things. I had my first instance. Nobody knew this at the last show. First instance where my corset came off.
Yes.
Fully was and it was under the lab coat that I was wearing, and I could feel my corset just dancing around, and I was like, how in the hell am I going to get
That
this
would have
back
been a
on
great
before
reveal,
they
though.
take it off, and
God.
it's down here, and I ran backstage and quickly did it. It was horrible looking, but it worked.
The last show, Sarah was, she was Rocky, and she like couldn't get the corset, and someone else was trying, and she had to be out there. She's like, however it is, it's going up. And just at the last second, zipped down, and she bolts out the curtain.
It's so much pressure, whether you're the actor getting dressed or whether you're the dresser helping. It's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Floor
And
show.
the floor show.
Before the floor show, I mean, hell, Rocky doesn't even go out there and stand like this waiting for his cue for the Medusa wall. He's already back there changing, you know? And as soon as they turn to stone, they're running to the back.
Running. You gotta
Can
run.
someone help? Just tits and everything flying around everywhere.
things flying.
It's great.
Yeah.
You should join cast.
Yes.
Well, here's a little behind the scenes Rocky. If you go to the Rocky show and you see somebody on stage at the beginning of the movie and they're wearing next to nothing, and you think, oh yeah, they're running around half naked. No, they're not. They have 3 layers of clothes on under the little bit that you see.
Yes. Yes.
Just so they can be ready for their
Absolutely.
next scene.
Yes.
Yeah. This is like the middle layer usually. This is underneath is like the slip and the bra, of course, but then over is the whole wedding outfit. You got to just layer it up because there's no time.
Keeps you on your feet.
It
huh?
does.
Yeah.
It
Change,
sure
quick
does. And sometimes, honestly, there was one time, it was my first time ever. I made this dinner corset. I was so proud of it. First time debuting it, could not get that bitch on. So, Katie, right, she was Riff Raff for that show.
I think so.
It was a scene where Frank is supposed to be
Yes,
I
yeah.
remember this,
supposed to be whipping Riff Raff, right? My sister, by the way. Fun to whip your sister.
Now you fuck her.
Hey, yeah.
Now I get to fuck her because she's Brad this season.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Grandma. Hi. Fun times. You'll get to see that later this year. But that show was just a classic example of just having to improv. So Katie went out, because I'm still getting this whole corset on. Katie went out and just pretended like she was being whipped by a ghost until I got to run out there and continue the whipping. So
sometimes your scene partner is a ghost, and you just have to go with it.
The thing is, when you're at home and you're trying on your costume, you're like, it looks good. But when you do it during the show, you're sweaty as hell. That thing is sticking to you.
It does not go on.
It's not coming down. You go, you're just yelling at somebody, whoever's there.
One of the sweatiest.
we need a PTSD warning.
I know.
I'm getting back into all these shows where I'm trying to get my gold glove on and I'm ripping the seam just to get it on because of the
Oh
sweat.
my God. Remember, Jordan made me a sequin glove for Frank. And forgot it.
Yeah.
So she gave me her Columbia jacket, like the tailcoat sequin, and just ties it around my arm. That was.
And again, it's so bad, it's good.
Yes.
Yes.
But having played Riff Raff for years, I will tell you the whip hurts.
Yeah.
Even with the hump.
Even with the hump protecting
What hump?
you. What? Oh.
Oh, beautiful. I actually am curious, what was everybody's first character when you joined Cass?
So, I feel like we should talk about our first show because that's all of our first characters. I think that kind of relates. So, our first show, we show up. We didn't know Scarlett or anybody. I was dressed as Magenta because I was hopeful. All I was told was to show up at this theater. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to dress as Mags. That's the character I've practiced. I wanted to be Frank, but I thought that's a little much for a first character to learn.
This fucking guy here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my first day. Can I be Frank?
Yeah.
So Mags was my goal. So showed up as Mags. She showed up as Columbia. We had rehearsed it. We were so ready to go. So luckily that night it worked out for me. I got to play Magenta because a Magenta was needed. However,
I
PTSD warning.
Yep.
those pictures
I
in
was
gold.
thrown into Rocky.
With Columbia makeup
with
on.
Columbia makeup on. So there was no time. I had my eyebrows glued. My face was clown white, eyebrows drawn on, corset, shorts, whatever. And then Jody comes and is like, hey, you want to be Rocky? We need a Rocky. And Jules is like, yeah, she'll do it.
I wanted you to be in the show.
And I was like already so nervous because I was like, I don't know, we're supposed to be like auditioning. I'd been practicing Columbia, and then it's like, okay, well, you're going to do this whole show as Rocky now.
And you were fabulous.
Yes, and it was great. Switched clothes with Jordan, who is the actual Columbia.
Yeah.
Made it work. Had this hideous blonde wig thrown on. It helped kind of cover the eyebrow situation
I just
a little.
got PTSD when you said hideous blonde wig.
Oh.
Yes.
You remember the original Riff Raff.
Okay.
We
We're
have to post a
gonna
picture.
we're gonna post these on
It
social
might
after
be
this.
in my... Oh, I left the tote.
I have those pictures from our first few shows.
the one
Bless
just
the evolution
sitting
of
on
Riff
top
Raff's
Jesus
hair.
Christ. The real evolution of my Riff Raff.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
We need to put, oh my gosh, let's put a picture series together of it literally evolving.
So, my first character was Riff Raff. They said they needed a Riff Raff. I was like... They posted it in chat, and I immediately was like, that's the one I wanted. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel confident doing Riff Raff. And I got it and had him for, 2 years. And then Magenta for 2 years. And now back to Riff Raff, but in Frank sometimes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. Okay, so my hair was shorter. And First, I tried to do a bald cap on there. Oh, that sucked. That was hot as fuck. It just as well as the rest of his costume that he's got. He's wearing a tuxedo the whole time.
Yes.
Magenta's great. When it gets to dinner scene, you take off all your clothes, and then you get a nice breeze. But everybody else, it sucks to be you. And then I tried to get a wig. That didn't work out very well. Then I took a Halloween mask that was a bald guy, cut out the face, and wore this rubber thing. And then I just eventually, my hair got long enough, I dyed it blonde.
And that's the best we had looked to that point.
And then I took a wire coat hanger, spiraled it around, and made it a hook. So I would just put my hair over it and tie it up. So that's what we're going. Still works.
There we go.
Pictures to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow Charleston's Absent Friends on Instagram and Facebook for that.
Yes.
Yep, both of those.
But the worst thing was the dick wig. it's just words can't describe. Should have sent a poet. It's so bad and dirty and gross. It's this thing that just I would balance on my head.
Oh God.
It rubber banded. It was like greasy and
think I
matted
blocked
and
that out.
mangy.
Yes,
and
I blocked
everything
that out
wrong with it. It was a hobo wig or something. It's
It's
still
probably still in the trailer somewhere
I'm sure
to this
it is,
day.
yeah.
It'll have its big,
We'll have to dig it
big
out.
comeback
Yes.
one day.
We'll
It
auction
will.
it. We should auction it
Oh my
off.
gosh.
Or burn it.
I don't know.
If it'll burn. I don't think it'll burn.
It might be too
It's
toxic.
no.
To burn.
It's if we still do have it, it's too precious to auction off.
That's amazing.
We'll frame it somewhere in
There
our
we go.
rehearsal
Yeah.
space and
Yeah.
stare at it regularly.
And I
Get
hope
off
that,
of that.
Yeah.
and I hope that there's a band formed somewhere out there called Dick Wig, if
I
there's
mean-
not already.
That's a great band name.
Yeah.
Right?
That's amazing.
Your
Well,
first,
my first character was usually how people get in is they end up either having to be Dr. Scott or the criminologist.
Literally.
And I was Dr. Scott.
Honesty.
That's fucking true.
When the cast is full, you either get in as the Dr. Scott
It's
or
literally our current issue.
the criminologist. Because nobody usually wanted to play the criminologist until people started experimenting with
No, it's a
making it
lot
fun.
of fun.
Yes.
It's fun.
A lot of
For real,
fun.
though.
You can make it fun.
For real.
No, it really
back in the
is.
day,
No, it
nobody
really
did.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was Dr. Scott for the longest time, and then I ended up becoming Riff Raff for probably 5 or 6, 7 years. I actually did Dr. Scott at the House of Blues when we played up there.
Nice.
That's a
Oh,
great
that's
venue.
So cool.
damn, that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
we can't get them to take us back. Oh, it's back, House of Blues. We'll do it for
Yeah.
free.
For free.
Maybe some popcorn though, or like
Yeah, popcorn.
one
Hotel
beverage
rooms.
or
That's all
something.
we need. Hotel rooms and
Yes.
gas money. We're
Yeah,
there.
there you go.
Beautiful. Someone out there knows someone at the House of Blues. They can
Yes.
they can work it out.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
But going into Dr. Scott, so that first show I was Magenta just because they needed a Magenta, but then the next show Magenta was back. So guess who was Dr. Scott?
Hey,
Yay.
So honestly, if I had to say who was my first character, it was actually Dr. Scott because
Yeah.
I was just
Or
filling.
should I say, Dr. Von Scott?
I think
Just
maybe-
what exactly are you implying?
He's a Nazi.
Wow, we're going all in.
Oh wow,
love
I
it.
know.
Well, you went.
I know, I went.
yeah.
Had,
Scarlett
had to
and Nikki
finish.
just disappeared
I know.
behind
Yeah,
the
so-
table.
What?
She often does.
Yes.
That's okay. We still love her. But I am actually, I don't, it's not quite confirmed yet, but 99% I'm actually probably going to be Dr. Scott at Myrtle Beach next month for June. So I'm
Beautiful.
really happy. I have not played that character since 2019. So for all the people worried about Crumb or Dr. Scott, it is still a character. I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm so excited to dive back in to him.
Well, Krim was my first probably
Yeah.
official role. I did play. I mean, I feel like I've played almost all of the characters.
You're one of the chameleons who's played
Yeah.
almost every single character.
I've not done Frank, Dr. Scott, or Riff. Those are the only three.
But,
I
like
think that
literally
I've not
everybody
done.
else you've
Yeah.
played. Yeah.
So Krim was a lot of fun because you really can just have fun with him. You know, like make it your own thing. I feel like he's so discounted a lot, but
I had
it's a
fun.
great time.
I played him twice.
It's a great time.
You just walk out of the audience and start fucking with people.
exactly,
That's like,
yeah.
As long as you don't mind being called an asshole, that's a good part.
oh, no
Or
fucking
no
neck.
neck,
Oh, God. The
He
neck.
honestly,
Yeah.
Krim has some of the best lines.
He has
He
the
does.
most
He
lines.
has
I
the
say
best
that.
call-outs.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. What diabolical. Well, yeah.
Yes.
So that's our long-winded. Which first character did you play? And we told you several different characters.
Yeah.
I love it.
because there is no
I
such thing as a
didn't-
first character.
You got lucky. You got Riff
You
the
did.
first show,
I
and
I was
then
just
2
too
years.
good. They needed it.
Too
I know.
See, it was making up
But-
for the Cowardly Lion. You
Yeah.
know, you got it
Yeah.
immediately. That was your comeback story.
Yes.
But to touch on what Jules was saying, she's going to Myrtle Beach next month to play in another cast as a different character.
Yeah.
I've gone to several casts just to see them play and ended up getting dragged in because
Yeah.
they need somebody and they know you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Yep. That's what
Here
when
we
you
go.
said, do you need a theater
You show up-
background?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
You show up at another cast and you got an Eddie jacket on, go, hey, get over
Get
here.
up there.
Yes,
there you
Yeah.
go.
Literally, that's
or
how it goes.
you show up dressed as Columbia and they need a Rocky.
There you go. You just
Yeah.
you don't even have to. You have to be dressed. You don't have to be dressed.
And wears heels 2 sizes too big that are fall hazard on a stage with a riser.
We're going to have so many new cast members after this. People are going to be lining up.
It's safe.
Yes.
At one point,
Very
one of
safe.
our cast members was an inflatable penguin.
Oh.
We had a blow-up doll as a
We
character.
had 2 blow-up dolls.
Rip Judy. We now have Fernando on
We
cast.
got enough people now, but I still absolutely love the blow-up doll Eddie just being held and being danced around with.
That's definitely going to be coming back
One of
into
Katie's
play.
best roles was holding the blow-up doll.
Yes,
And like
so
no
good.
sorry, Katie, but it's funny.
Yes.
It's too fun. Yeah,
It's
like
hilarious.
yeah,
You
just
don't
that,
expect
especially
it.
the
She did it
spin,
perfectly.
holding the blow-up doll, and just whipping around a 360, and the dancing. Oh God, I don't want to
All
take
right, we're
someone's role
changing.
away.
We're changing it.
There's
Yeah.
no Eddie needed.
I don't want to
Eddie-
take our Eddie's roles away, but God
Eddie can
damn
be,
it, that
Eddie,
blow-up doll.
Eddie is the blow-up doll, so it can just be whoever's Eddie. You're controlling the blow-up doll.
That's what I said back
Yeah.
when we had it. I said, no, let's just keep the blow-up
Yes.
doll.
And then she popped.
Just like
Oh,
my
no.
ex-wife,
I know.
I can be replaced by a blow-up doll.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
That's how it goes sometimes. Quick battery check. Sweet.
how's it doing?
It's doing
Okay.
good. Full battery in 46 minutes. Flies by, huh?
Wow.
We are
Okay.
I'll
flapping
talk
our,
less.
you know what?
Yep.
That's why I said I love the tangents. This is how we do on
Yes.
podcasts. And so we got to dive into 2 things we've mentioned about doing these shows. The virgin sacrifices
Oh, yes.
and the callbacks. Let's start with the virgin sacrifices. You all have danced around with a lot of these ideas. The Cinco de Mayo one was so simple and so amazing. I absolutely loved it. What is everyone's favorite virgin sacrifice, and what is a virgin sacrifice for someone who doesn't know?
Well,
Game master.
Oh, yes. You will be slaughtered. One virgin who's never seen it will be sacrificed to Tim Curry. It's
Sign me up.
We
That's what's
we
needed. I
we
mean-
can't if we no virgins are watching this. They're right. They're not.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
I don't want to give away. You're gonna do something embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
game. We're gonna embarrass you, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, and you can win something from our lovely sponsors or a small part in the show.
yes.
You'll be okay. I survived mine. Mine was
Yes.
someone blowing up. You had to pair up and then blow up a balloon, tie it, and then pop it without using your hands with your
Yes,
partner.
they're classic.
And
That's a go-to.
That is a classic go-to.
problem
It's great.
with when we did it, it was me and another guy who was equally as awkward as I was at the time.
Oh,
I used to be
perfect.
really shy. So we blew up the balloon, and neither one of us knew how to tie it. So we just stood there awkwardly like this,
That'll do it.
Yes.
while 2 girls to our right are just going at it to
Yeah.
pop it.
Yeah.
As two girls do.
And
Yeah.
it took
Right.
maybe 5 seconds before
Oh,
it
yeah.
just loudest thud.
That is hilarious.
Well, they were scissoring. They kind of cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people are getting, if they're when you're looking for virgins and someone's pointing at their friend, yeah, it's kind of fine to put a shy person up there. Or I punish the pointer and make them come.
yes.
It's like, you, pointer, you get up here.
Yeah.
And make
Yeah.
them do it. The burrito thing was, it was Cinco de Mayo, but we're trying not to be problematic.
Yes.
So I just like, okay, yeah, who eats the fastest, or the cheesy bean and rice burrito the fastest is the winner.
Oh, gosh.
And I knew Mary was going to be coming in, so I was going to make her eat. Gotta feed her. I was
Yes.
going to, I made them do paper, rock, scissors, I was going to make, if she had won, I would still make her do it.
Yes. Yes.
Because, we try to embarrass our friends, obviously. You bring your
Obviously.
friends there to get them embarrassed, like it happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
It happened to everybody else.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
And we mentioned sponsors, prizes from our sponsors. So let's mention our main sponsor at Terrace, Guilty Pleasures, Charleston. Oh, we get free lube. We give that out to y'all
yeah.
every show. Cinnamon bun flavored. I haven't tried it yet. I've heard it's good. And we do, up to $100 gift certificates to Guilty Pleasures. 25,
Yeah.
50,
Like-
75, 100, depending on the event
All
and how big it is.
denominations of 25.
Yep,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yes. Usually the bigger prize is for a costume contest. And the last costume contest was amazing.
Yep.
There was one person.
Oh.
I still made them come up and I made people vote on her.
Yes.
Like,
So
you got to
perfect.
go through it to get your prize money. But
yeah.
it's like, well, we advertised one, so here you go.
There we go.
But what we're saying? Favorite games?
Favorite sacrifice.
Man, one I miss that we don't stop doing because of COVID was Drag Race. That's one I want to bring back. My favorite one was the one we all came up together. It was this very prejudiced thing against Irish people for St. Patrick. not really, no. It was an Irish drinking game. We just kept adding rules. There was like 10 rules to this thing, and it just got complicated. And we make them drink. I can't remember. They had to run and like spin around and then throw gold coins into a leprechaun hat.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
The Irish triathlon is what we named the game. That was probably one of my favorites because it was a group effort. And that was like the beginning of doing these zany things that weren't like, Drag Race or balloon pop or passing the donut with the stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm going to do new crazy shit.
Yes.
You guys might have a favorite that mentions it, but what's your favorites?
Well, honestly, I was going to say I'm always at the merch table during this, so I don't see a lot of them.
I know.
But one of the OG ones that's always good is the sex sounds. So
Yes,
it's pairing up two
That's
people, and then it's either a sex sound or talking or whatever for a certain character. Like, who have we done? What are some?
Well, there was
Disney
the
characters.
Disney show.
We've done animals. We've
Yes.
done like aliens or what?
Monsters,
Dolphins.
maybe?
No, it was Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
So they had
got
they
it.
had
Yeah.
to orgasm as the character they draw out of the hat, and
Yeah.
Disney was fun
Yes.
because it's for a younger audience. So I definitely and another one was I remember just like South Park was one of the things. I can't remember what it was. Hey, they had to do Eric Cartman having an orgasm.
Yes.
Just like it was the weirdest sounding or unique sounding voices we could think of, and put it in the hat.
There we go.
What about you?
Well, honestly, and I only came in on this at the tail end, and that's funny too. But the Mario show one, the Easter egg one, that got me because I came in
On turn 3.
no idea.
Yeah. So that was I came up with it the day before the show. I was trying to think of something for Easter but it was also it was near Easter. It was also Mario was coming out, so it was our Mario thing. It was supposed to be Marvel, but Marvel's been sucking lately. And I was like, we got a Mario movie. We're doing Mario.
Yes.
So it combined Easter baskets. They had to pick up like 4 plastic eggs, but they couldn't use their hands. Put it in the basket and then do a lap around the theater with the basket up their ass.
Yes.
But I did give the audience a chance to vote whether they just had to go from one end of the front to the other or do a lap. And of course,
The lap.
they
one.
voted for the lap.
So-
And turn 3 is like the back right corner if you're standing and looking at the chairs. And that's when they come up through the
Yes.
door. People with
People
baskets.
are waddling with
Go ahead.
baskets hanging out of their butts. And I'm like, what is going on here? This is
And how do
utter
we get to be a
chaos
part of
and
this?
madness. And it was beautiful. It just completely made my night.
You were jealous.
I
People
was.
putting things up their
I
butts.
wanted a basket up my butt.
Yeah.
I did
And-
have the idea of like, because I do these things and I don't run the games by them anymore. I just surprise everybody with the game.
It's
They
better
yes.
that way.
I was going to kind of punish Plan B was there. I was like, I should make Plan B pair up with
Oh
that.
my
So
gosh.
make it a relay race. And I thought about making Cass too. I was like, nah, it's going to go on too long. We got to move on.
Well, we'll pull that one out at a special time. later
Another
on.
ass
Yeah,
basket race.
another
But just
Okay.
remember, there's plenty of cast members that make that same loop. So if you do that, make the cast members have to do that.
I'll
during
pick you.
their
I'm
loop.
picking you.
I don't do that.
You're
loop.
going to have to do it. Next show.
He's
Getting something
he's
up
gonna
the
call
ass,
out
Jody.
of that
Yes. Oh, I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
We'll bring it to every show until you show up.
Yes.
Well, I've seen a lot of them, and some of them were just horrendous. Like chocolate pudding in a diaper, and then you had to find something in the pudding.
Oh, God. You have to find something in the pudding.
Without your hands, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yummy.
Wow.
That's really asking people to trust us quite a
Well, one
bit.
of the ones that you don't have to get real dirty was you would have an object, whether it be a ball or an orange or something, and you get 2 people, and you place the ball between their 4 knees, and then they have to get the ball up to their mouth without their hands.
Okay.
What?
I would just drop it on the ground and bite it.
People become. No, you can't drop it.
Oh, you can't, there
People
we go.
become friends very quickly.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
all for our little trinkets.
That's
Yes,
a good game.
it is.
Should put that in the library.
Yeah,
I love it.
That was going in there.
I was always a fan of the someone had a dildo that they were wearing and the people had to toss the rings on it while they're sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Charlie was recently one of those, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all
yeah,
good until
yeah,
you're
I
wearing a
asked him.
dildo and get hit in the face with rings.
Yes, he had glasses. He was fine. He had eye protection.
He
Yeah.
did.
There was also like a what was it? It's like a bean, one of those bean sacks you guys used to hold up, like a.
Those are
like
here.
your
asshole.
asshole.
Oh my God. As an asshole.
Yeah.
We should
They
get
might.
those.
Are they here or are
They're-
they at our house?
Did we
Play
take
with them
them?
from time to time.
It's a giant pussy
Yes.
and
I
a
worked
giant
hard on that.
asshole that they gotta.
You actually made that?
Yeah.
I
we
made the pussy
that.
because
They bought it at
I'm a
Walmart.
lesbian.
I made the
yeah.
best.
Spot on.
Yeah, Walmart's carried those for a few years now. And then Nikki made the butt with the hanging balls.
With the balls dangle.
You should contact Hasbro and see if they want to
I
get
mean,
in on that.
hey, you
They
know.
might. They should.
Some of
Shark
our
Tank. Shark
Oh,
Tank.
that's what it is.
Yep.
This. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, you
You
remember
guys
it.
walk in, Karen. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
We do need to bring that back soon. I've
should,
forgotten about
yeah.
those props.
Pride. That's going to be the perfect time.
That is always
Yeah.
a good one.
Beautiful.
But that's an example of props. I had to call the venue and make sure they were okay with that.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yes.
few things we bring that we like to get pre-approved.
We also
And
have
Sure.
to get approval for levels of nakedness.
yes,
Yes.
depending if it's
Tell
indoors
Terrace
or
to
outdoors.
approve full topless.
I'm sure. I mean, it's pretty much there anyway.
Sometimes.
If there's a slip, it's an honest mistake if
If.
it happens.
Jordan.
Yes, it's all.
I wasn't going to mention names, but there may or may
It's
not
always-
be.
Hey, it's an honest mistake. Honestly, she does it every show.
You just can't make that stuff up. You just
No,
can't.
really can't.
So going on to callbacks, you all touched on that in the history of the Shadowcast panel
Yes, okay.
at Atomicon, which look out for that next year. We had a blast.
Yes.
Me and Jules got to do a Hollywood horror panel,
Mm-hmm.
and what was it called? The history of the Shadowcast panel, right?
Yeah, history of Shadowcast.
I was glad to get to witness that. It gave a lot of insight, much like we're doing here now.
Mm-hmm.
But callbacks came up, and Scarlet's Grin came up even at the panel. But we had to keep it kid-friendly at the time because of Atomicon.
Yes.
We're not...
No worries.
Let it fly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them first, and then we'll talk about the banned ones. That we
Well,
don't
maybe
do
we should
anymore.
say tell people what
Oh,
a
yes.
callback actually is.
First, yeah.
So a callback can precede or follow something that happens on the screen. We've seen the movie so many times that we know stuff's going to come up. So we'll say something for the character on the screen, and then they'll say something, and that'll make it funny. Or they'll say something, and then we'll say something after it to make it funny. That's what a callback is.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
in the
sometimes you can just be on crack, like Eric from Pure Antimatter.
woo.
He was just god tier callback. He would do, him and his friend in unison did like this long paragraph of dialogue. In one word they don't say, it happens on the screen perfectly in time. I was just like,
Wow.
it was a lot, but it was impressive.
That
You
is
have
impressive.
to be expert level of Rocky fan knowledge, all of that stuff, to really appreciate that level of callbackdom.
Or just say stuff that will get you canceled. That's
That's
you can get,
true.
like
That's
okay,
easy
we've
to
all
do,
probably
yeah.
know South Park and the character Timmy.
Oh, yeah.
So when they
Yes.
turn the page and you first see a picture of Dr. Scott in a wheelchair, everybody goes, Timmy! Yeah, that's a call out.
Yeah.
Yep. So what are some favorite ones that you currently
Timmy.
use? Timmy?
Yeah,
That was one
is
of
a
the
good
first
one.
ones I ever knew, because when I was going, it was back when this cast was at South Windermere, and yeah, that the call-outs are what always bring me back. That's my favorite
Yep.
part. Like, just how dirty and unique can it get? And you get new people in that say stuff that you never have heard before.
Yep.
Man, I don't know. That Timmy was one of my original favorites, but then like Black and Decker, Pecker Wrecker, I can't even
Slices,
say that.
dices, circumcises.
Get something Janet Weiss's,
And Julianne's.
and boy does it cut meat. See, yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
I can throw it out there. It's a simple one, but as a punk rock fan, whenever Eddie's described as a little punk and the oi, 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 that always gets me.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
Always a
good
fun, simple one.
Yeah.
John
that's fun.
Cena. I stole that from Eric. That's
yes.
that's Eric's. It's not
It's
mine.
John
But not only do yell out, "It's John Cena," but I could play his intro theme.
Yeah.
I forgot you played the
Frank,
song.
yeah. So
I like the one where Frank is Rocky is first come to life, and he's, and it's missed it, now you gotta kiss it. Why do you think he missed it?
Frank's running his finger down Rocky's body, and he's got gold trunks, and they go for the gold.
Yep.
Go for the gold. Then he just barely misses it. That's a call out there.
It is a good one.
It is a good one.
There's so many. There's so many.
We
great
could do
ones.
a whole episode on callbacks, truthfully.
Yeah.
So one of my favorites, and it's a two-person one. Frank will say the word spark, but we change it to Spock, and it's who gives the best blowjobs on the Starship Enterprise, and he says Spock, and then we'll just go into a rant like, no, it's Wesley because he'll do anything for a quarter. No, it's Deanna because she can read my mind. No, it's Worf because he's ribbed for my pleasure.
Yes.
And you can literally do that with just about enough Star Trek characters that people get mad about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. I try to.
My favorite thing is we try to stay topical. So there's a scene where Riff Raff comes over to a clock, and he opens the clock, and there's a skeleton in there.
Oh.
And every month, we find out who's the dead celebrity that passed away recently, and that's the skeleton that's in the clock.
Yeah.
Hey, Riff Raff, show us Jerry Springer. And then he opens the thing, and there's...
Yeah.
My favorite one was the Star Wars show. And I had this cardboard cutout of Princess Leia. And I say, show us Carrie Fisher.
Oh.
And Laura goes... she was gutted, and I was just like,
Yes. That's amazing.
One time we put aviator sunglasses on it, and it was like, show me Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole audience just went, oh, and I went, Excelsior.
I had to open the door for that one. I was heartbroken,
That was
but
hard.
he had to be honored. It is an honor.
Then later on in the thing, that there's a scene where there's an audience that's hallucinated or something, and the audience leaves, and we always try to come up with some news story of what that is. Like it's the one everybody uses that's getting kind of played out now.
Oh, God.
Look, it's the Columbine high school reunion.
Yes.
Oh.
Some of these are
dark.
pretty intense and dark and are real. Yes, it's offensive on purpose to get the worst kind of reaction. And I love my memes dank and dirty. So like after Roe v. Wade got overturned, said, "Hey, it's the line at Planned Parenthood." You know, just really
nail it in there.
mention.
Yeah.
But the worst one that we don't do
The worst
anymore.
one
That's
that's
not a
banned.
slur.
No.
So, say the line.
What?
Frank singing. As
one?
it clung to her thigh.
Oh, God.
This is one we don't do anymore.
Yeah.
So, as it clung to her thigh is the lyric in the song, and you would go, like a homesick abortion. But,
Mommy, it's cold out here.
yeah,
And there's a coat hanger.
the thing we learned from Virginia Tech friends is it's like, as it clung to her thigh, like a homesick abortion saying, Mommy, take this coat hanger out my eye and let me in. It's cold outside.
Oh, God.
I just learned you have to do the voice at the
you
end.
have to.
You have to do the voice,
Have to
yes.
do the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one has only been coming around kind of like what we were saying when Roe v. Wade was overturned. It's just the offensiveness a lot of the time is to call attention to issues in our society.
It is so fucked up. This is so fucked up. We have to joke about
You
it.
feel fucked up? Okay, let's do something then, guys.
Yeah.
Let's volunteer. Let's vote. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Because, as great as it is to just sit here and do nothing and watch a movie, let's actually do something after this.
Yeah.
So.
No, and we're gonna get to that, but I absolutely agree.
And we changed it. Now it's like as it clung to her thigh, like a used tampon. How I started to cry. I'd cry too if my tampon fell out. And when Frank is shown at the beginning, it'd be starring, and it'd be a slur for gays that starts with F, it ends with T, and now we say hot dog. Frankenfurter. So some things just really don't fly anymore. And I'm fine with making it dank and dirty as possible, but we gotta, lay off of the real heavy stuff. So
Yeah.
if you go to California, you're not going to hear any kind of slur.
Yeah.
But we here in the South, we get a little bit
It's
dirty
still
down here.
it's still okay to split those hairs and just toe
They're
the line.
always evolving, you
Oh,
know,
yes.
with the times and then what's hot and what's
Dance
not
on the
anymore.
razor's edge.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Or sometimes the callbacks now. I mean, this movie has been around for so long. Sometimes we say a callback and it's not really landing anymore because people aren't knowing what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah.
So then it's like time for an upgrade.
Yeah.
That's not gonna get laughs anymore.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I feel like Michael Phelps is dated. We need to do
Yeah, Michael Phelps is.
he
dated
must be
for
in
sure.
the Zen room, but they say Michael Phelps. But who remembers he was smoking weed? So I would say like it's Seth Rogen's room. Do the
Yes.
stupid
Yeah,
laugh.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Who uses Gleam toothpaste anymore?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, nobody. Is it even an active thing?
So we update stuff and we make up new things. Man, I tried one out, but at practice, I don't know if I even should say that.
I don't remember that. one.
Where the tower comes falling
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Or well, no, not that. It's where they have the crash sound. Where Dr. Scott goes into Frank. I said it's the watch out. It's the World Frank Center.
That's great. That's actually that's good. I like it.
I don't think it's. I think that's too much.
I don't think that's.
No.
I mean,
the World
I don't know if the
Frank
audience
Center.
would.
Come on,
but-
that's too
No.
much. It's
That's the one where they use a hubcap sound for Dr. Scott
Yeah,
running
he's-
into a wall.
Yeah.
he's going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Frank's got his arm stretched
Yeah.
out like this, so the original callback is, "Oh shit, my armpit fell out."
Yes. Because he has a whole cut
Yep.
in his armpit.
And you hear the hubcap flying around. So yeah, see, you guys just cackled at that shit, and I thought it was
Yes,
too
I know.
much.
I thought it was great.
Well, it's important to note, and you all say it before every show, that all of it is comedic purposes.
Yeah.
You know?
I just thought up a good
And. What's that?
I said I just thought up a good one.
Oh, what is it?
When he crashes into the wall. What's the guy from Fast and the Furious that died?
Oh, Paul Walker.
Oh, look, it's Paul Walker!
Oh.
Right?
Yes,
Done.
that's-
Sorry, Fast and Furious fans
Yeah.
out there.
Family.
And we want to challenge our audience too. Like that's
Yeah.
half the fun is come think of them and shout them out, or if one pops into your head, shout it out, and it might stick for 50 years to
It
come,
might.
and you could be the person who
Yeah.
started it.
Yeah.
So there's just no way to even pinpoint how almost all of these callbacks
Yeah.
started because this culture is so rich and has been around for so long now.
Yeah.
And we do this, we've been doing this for so long that we're used to what we do. But if we go somewhere else and somebody else does it, we're just as amazed as the regular audience is about what they're saying. And if we go places and do stuff there, their cast is as amazed at some of the stuff that we come up with.
I heard a new one, Richie up in Myrtle, like when, they cut out a song for Brad that he sings, like they filmed it, but it's
Oh,
not in
yeah.
the movie, and he goes, "So once in a while," and then Mary goes, "Shut the fuck up!" She hates the stuff, but I heard him sing that. I'm busting up in the back,
Yes.
like, you hear a new one that's so good, I was like, man, so you gotta steal it, you gotta carry it on, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Because
That's
everybody
an
hates
honor.
that song.
That's an
Yeah.
honor if
absolutely.
it's stolen. That's how
Yeah.
you know
Right.
it's a good one.
The song just is like the dinner scene, flat. So they took it out. So yeah, it was like, whoa, shut that fuck up.
Yes.
Love it.
That's
We're gonna
perfect.
use it.
Yes.
There we go.
Absolutely.
And there are some that have taken 40 years to cultivate.
Yes.
The one
Beautiful.
where Magenta does her twirling dance, and it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Show us how you masturbate.
Yep.
3, 5, 7, 9. We know you do it all the time. 10, 20, 30, 40. We know you do it when you're horny. 50, 60, 70, 80. That's a slut, not a lady.
Yeah.
It's taken me 40 years to come up with that one.
Yes. I love that.
Favorite recent memory, Atomicon, when you all did your number before the cosplay contest?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a room of people just
Yes.
dancing, and Jody just came out of the silence with
Yes.
that shtick.
Yeah.
And Nikki's like,
I said no because there was the one kid in all of Atomicon was in that room with us, and we were about to be talking about masturbation. So it's like,
But for my own thing, he was behind me. I didn't see him.
that's true. He was little. He was little.
no, it was
we're
fine.
not
In my
It's
defense, it's not my fault.
I know.
Yeah. This was our first family friendly.
Yeah, we had to change a lot
with
last
Rocky
minute.
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm in my PG I got
Yes.
this together for Tomicon, so the boobs aren't hanging out.
Not me. I'm in full lingerie here.
Yes. Well, no one can see behind the table, so but we
I'll
have
stand
a
up.
nice look.
There's
We
a
have
leg. There's
nice
a leg
look.
out here. Nice knee.
Glamour shot by Deb going on.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, it's important to note, quick battery check again. Sweet.
Okay.
It's also important to note we've mentioned Star Wars, we mentioned Mario. Something that sets you all apart is you do Rocky, everybody watches Rocky for Halloween and for October. Year-round shows.
You do.
First Friday of the month, like I said earlier. And you do theme shows. You get to customize your character and change things up. Favorite theme show you've done and favorite mix-up you've done with your character?
Oh, I already know. The horror theme show. I mean,
was
number
great.
one, it's like my favorite genre of movie. I was Pennywise, so I got to delve into another Tim Curry character,
Yes.
which was just an honor. Like, how perfect is that? Matching my character with another Tim Curry one. That was our first drag routine. It was
Yeah.
sold out. We did our toilet paper.
I was there. It was a great show.
record. That was just an awesome show all around, top to bottom, every which way. So that is just a standout show for me.
Yeah, that one really was a lot of fun. I was going to say that because it was the first one that we had the pre-shows on, so that was a special. I really loved, I mean, I'm a huge Disney fan, so I loved whenever we did the Disney theme. That was definitely one of my favorites, as well as the Mario one. I just really loved that Mario show. We just
That peach
really...
hair.
Thank you.
Again, go to our socials. You'll see the
was
peach
great,
hair.
yes. But we also did like a Mario course, basically a little bit like through. Wasn't that for the dinner scene?
Yes.
The side-scrolling course.
Yes. Yeah.
we
so
each had, like, Katie had made, iconic Mario things like a brick or
The question
a star,
mark
a
block.
question
Turtle
mark,
shell.
right.
Yeah.
I had the bell. I was the finish line. I was the tallest. I told Amanda, who is playing Brad Mario,
Mario.
dressed as Mario playing Brad, that I was going to, she had to reach it. She had to actually hit it. The very first thing she does is sucker punches me right in the stomach, knocks half the wind out of me.
Jeez.
got the bell.
Yeah.
She got everyone.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
was
She
not
got the
Amanda.
bell.
That was not Brad. That was Mario,
That was
getting
Mario.
his princess.
Yes,
She went
Jeez.
full method acting
Yes.
that night, all in.
Yes.
I got injured too by her. She
Yeah.
chucked. I don't know. I blocked it out mentally, but it was one of the props. She chucked it.
It
at
was a
my
turtle
lip.
shell. It was
Yeah.
probably
Ooh.
the turtle shell.
Right there, and again, when you're on stage, you're not supposed to break character, so you just kind of have to. That didn't feel that good, but I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
I don't know how many times I've caught just an arm or elbow to like the face or head.
Always
We're
bruised
all
up, man.
flailing about. So
What about other themes?
My favorite theme show is the next one.
Ooh.
Now,
the next one is
Go ahead and
going
tease
to be
it.
amazing.
oh no, I'm just saying, always the next one. The next one is
Oh.
always after you do.
Yeah.
I'm like Tom Brady. What's the best ring?
Yeah.
The next one.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Yeah. I love planning it. Creative director is what we call this role.
Mm-hmm.
That I love like finding the stuff matching up with each other. Well, the next one is the Pride queer icons.
Yeah.
We're all doing queer icons. And how I said like to fuck with people on stage. I'm gonna be David Bowie, but with the wide ass pant legs, and I just want to be an absolute nuisance to everybody on stage. And just that's gonna be fun. I will be an obstacle to get around. But I don't know. My favorite thing that I've done was probably Yzma.
Oh my god.
I did
That was
Yzma,
amazing.
and I was
Amazing.
that was
You
amazing.
looked perfection.
Absolutely
That was
flawless.
perfection.
I love her.
Should we say what the
What is
purpose
a
of a
theme
theme show
to
is?
sell tickets.
Well, truthfully,
Number one, yes.
Let's
It's
not be
fine.
honest. Let's not be honest.
It's
It's-
fine. No.
Yeah, it's so many reasons though. So as Kevin said, we do at least one Rocky show a month. Some months we have, like next month we have two we're doing
Yeah.
because it's Pride Month. So to keep things a little fresh throughout the year, we like adding themes onto it.
Yeah.
So it's basically meshing two fandoms together. So like we've said, Mario and Rocky, Disney and Rocky, and Scarlett does a wonderful job of matching each of the Rocky characters with another character from the other fandom. So, and I think this is happening so much nowadays. All these fandoms are merging together into things like you see Star Wars episodes of almost every single Family Guy, you know? So I think if you think about that concept, that's all we're doing is Hollywood does it a lot. We're just meshing two worlds together.
And that comes to my favorite one was, because I'm a big Star Wars nerd, surprise. But we did the Star Wars mashup, and at the time I was Riff Raff. And Riff Raff, if you watch the movie, he is the actual villain in the movie. So I was Anakin at the start of the movie.
Yes.
And then part of the way through the movie, I switched to a darker robe with the little braid hanging out as a Jedi apprentice. And then I got more robes toward the end, and then at the very end scene, I came out as Darth Vader.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That was a great progression.
We did. Oh, I forgot about our Star Wars theme one. That was fantastic. It
really was.
So, like, we alternate. Like, every 4 months, we'll do, like, a high budget, high production theme. And then, like, 2 months after that, every 4 months is what we now call a lulz budget. Like, to just look horrific. Like, nightmare fodder, cheap. That the Mario one was supposed to be one, but the Star Wars one, my God, was special.
That was golden.
Katie was Darth Maul with Doritos on her head. I was a stormtrooper made out of foam bowls and plates, but Jordan's scary ass C-3PO and not really knowing shit about Star Wars, she just did this and stole the whole fucking show.
She did.
I love it.
It's great.
Holding a robot, aluminum foil leg mold or whatever it was.
Dollar Tree lightsabers getting to go through and just
R2-D2 was just a cardboard box, you know, colored to look like.
Yes. Literally in a wheelchair, seeing out of one tiny hole, was just stuck.
Wasn't that her first show, too?
Yes,
We're like,
was her
welcome to
first show.
cast.
Yes.
You're in a box the whole time, and you have a hole this big, and you're in a wheelchair. And we're just trust us. We're pushing you around. It's fine.
Yep.
You'll be safe.
There you go.
Safe.
Big fan of the Tim Burton one from a few months back.
Yes,
And you brought up the dinner scene earlier. Best thing I've seen in recent memory was the dinner scene of Rocky Horror Comes Up. You took the audio out of the scene.
Yes.
And the banana boat dance came in from Beetlejuice.
Day. We so day, we so day, we so day, we so day, we so day.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Marvelous. I loved it.
Thank you. Yes. It was good. And I feel like that was like a spur of the moment.
It was very on the fly.
Yeah.
We had not.
It was like the day, but it was supposed to be a
was the
drag
last
routine
week we had
first,
and
then we were like, why don't we just throw it in the dinner scene?
Yeah.
That works perfectly because it's a dinner scene. It was flawless.
It was.
Yeah, it looked like we had rehearsed it a million times. That was the first time
we had
did
one
it with
random
the music.
extra rehearsal. It was just like a random special rehearsal. It was just we had like a couple of new people in roles, so we just did like a short week of the show, like, let's give this person a little extra rehearsal time. And we had decided to do the deo. We practiced the dance one time, basically, and
I didn't even. I was looking to my left.
Not everybody was there. It wasn't even a full rehearsal. It was just like a few of us.
I was winging it.
Yeah.
And that's what we do half the time, honestly. Because we make a little money, we appreciate it, it goes back into the show, props and everything, but we're volunteers, so we like to have fun with it, and that's what I was going to bring up about theme shows too, is it's fun for us, and we want it to be fun for the audience as well, but to be able to dig into a new character, get into a new mind, we love these characters, we love Rocky characters, but it's really nice to, as actors and entertainers, explore other roles with makeup, just artistic, so it's just so fun because we're a family, let's be honest, come on. Dysfunctional, yes, but we are a family, that's how it goes. So to show up to the theater and see everyone's finished products, I got goosebumps. Because it's magical. It really is. It's like, I'm so proud of everybody.
The Tim Burton people were so good. Like, your makeup
Corpse
and
Bride.
Cody's, good God.
Jack's
We made a great
good.
pair.
Y'all
we were both like
Chef's
body
kiss.
painted, so I think everybody has just
Stepped up.
Yes, and it keeps, and that's what we want, because that just means that everybody else on cast is just as passionate about this, and it's lasting through generations, you know, and it's really
Make
magical.
me feel old.
You're only 2 generations away.
Yeah, there you go.
Or is it 3?
3? Or
Three.
I don't, maybe 3. I don't know.
Who knows?
What's a
A long
generation?
4.
There we go.
But this next show is going to be sick. We're doing even more throughout the actual movie, like new gags and the costumes and the pre-show. It's going to be like another, like the what we're putting into this is as much as we put into the horror one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
got a lot of cool stuff. And it really, people need to come out and see the show.
Yes.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, so Queer Icons theme show is June 2nd. So as usual, first Friday, Terrace Theater. That's our big Pride show on James Island. And then we have another Pride show the very next weekend, right?
Yes.
So that's the 10th of June at Park Circle Pride, which is Itinerant Literate Books. So we have 2 big shows next month. So if you want a theme, come out to Terrace. If you don't want a theme, we're just going to have some rainbow shit on and be prideful at the bookstore show.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Pretty classic, though. Yeah.
I love it. And all the creativity that goes into it and just winging it, as Scarlett brought up, that's a testament to all of you being professional, and it's art and it's fun, and it makes it more entertaining for the audience when you just bring people in and you throw different ideas at the wall.
Yep.
So I appreciate that about it. And as we sort of start to bring it home, I wanted to leave the floor open, obviously, to plug events, but I also wanted to throw it. My favorite thing, first and foremost, about Charleston's Absent Friends is the message behind it. It's all about the love. It's all about being inclusive, all about having a voice and, spreading a message. So I wanted to open up the floor for, again, everybody to talk about what you guys stand for and, spread the message, because it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Well, as corny as it really is love and kindness. It comes back to that. So our world is very dark. There's a lot of hatred out there. There's lots of violence right now, especially towards our group, which is the queer community, LGBTQIA+. So we really wanted to create a true safe space for people. So that is kind of what we were saying before. Come as you are. Dress however you want. Be whoever you want. Use whatever pronouns you want to use. Whatever religion you are, whatever race you are, you name it, whatever makes you feel different from the rest of the world or your community, we want you here.
Yes.
So all we ask, this is what I usually say, all we ask in return is kindness in our theater. Be nice to those around you. Help each other out. Share experiences, share laughs and happiness together, because that's what's missing right now from the world is we're all looking at all the differences instead of looking at what makes us the same. And when you're in our theater, we're all here to have a damn good time and watch Rocky Horror together and be whoever the fuck we want to be. So please come to our theater. We mean that. We're always at the merch table. Most of us are hanging around all over the place. So come. We want to meet you. We want to welcome you into our space, and we mean that very genuinely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, all it took was me posting one photo from the... It's true.
I got the slow magenta clap, and it's getting... yeah, okay, there. You went all in. That's when you know.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Beautiful.
This is why you call it the boring part in the opening of the show, but it's important and you're good at it, and that's why you're the president. And I don't even feel like I need to add anything.
I know. It
territory.
fully encapsulates
Slow
everything.
clap, so I don't gotta say anything.
Yes.
It means a lot to me, and it's just no matter where I am or what I'm doing, it's all comes back to that at the end of the day. So
Absolutely. And all it took was me posting a photo of how much fun I had at one show, and I became friends with you and met the rest of the cast. And
Yes.
every show where I'm in town, you better believe I'm one of the first tickets that are sold.
Yes.
I'm all about it. It is one of my favorite things to do every month. And speaking of what's coming up as we wrap it up, you want to talk about all the events that are coming up for Pride Month, and then
Yeah.
also maybe
That's
some
you.
very big news
Absolutely, yeah.
later in the year?
yeah.
Well, sit back and relax
Talk
now.
about
Y'all
me.
are done.
Yeah.
Y'all can nap now. So we kind of already hit the Big Terror show, first Friday every month. We'll just keep saying that. They are our long-term, what we call our home venue. They are our home. That theater is my home. I've been on the floor. I've crawled through gum and beer.
We've literally bled.
Gum? You said gum?
Gum.
Oh, I heard something else.
Something else. Maybe Columbia's.
We don't know.
Columbia's
Jar
jar of what rhymes with gum.
If it's wet or sticky and not yours, you're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah, well, when you're on the floor dying, it's kind of hard. But yeah, first Friday every month, home venue. Terrace Theater. We also partner a lot with Itinerant Literate out in Park Circle, so we have that. Check out all the Park Circle Pride events. Get y'all's pride on. We need it right now. We need to be loud and proud. Our rights are being taken away, y'all. So please, please go out there. I can't say that enough. Go support queer acts throughout all of Charleston, not just us. Get out there and do that, but especially us. Buy tickets to us first, and then go do the other shit.
Yes.
So we're also doing a dating game for Park Circle Pride, so follow them. It's all on there. It's on our socials too.
You can win a date with this guy.
Ooh.
Tell my
Sign
wife.
me up.
Oh yeah, it's a secret.
She can come too. It's fine.
That
More
would be
the
a
It's a
fun-
package deal.
Oh, that's true. We are also doing, I'm really excited about this, Queer Youth Fest for Park Circle Pride as well with We Are Family. So this just got approved. I don't even think you know this yet. Because again, we're kind of a horror troupe, you know, duh. I got Prideful Ghostface approved. So that's who I will be cosplaying. I've got a Pride Ghostface mask, and I have my robes, and instead of a knife to keep it kid friendly, I'll be on the phone.
Yes.
So photo ops at Queer Youth Fest with Prideful Ghostface. Please come out. I would love to take a pic with you. We also just got hit up. Tanger Outlets is having a little Pride event, which is awesome, mid-June. So check out their websites. We'll be there. I mean, we have so much, but the big thing that we want to announce.
Drum roll.
All right. September 23rd of this year, Terrace Theater will be hosting us, as well as, I'm dragging it out, the biggest asshole in the world, Brad Majors himself, Barry Bostwick, will be here in Charleston, South Carolina. Yay. So he's a friend of the cast. Several of us have met him over the years. He actually wanted my card. I was like, what in the world? Here you go. Sure. Okay. And we've been working on this, since 2019 or so when we first met him. He's wonderful. He is such a support to the Rocky Horror community. So he's come into our little sector of the world, and we're going to do an underwear run. We're going to have meet and greets, autographs. Yes. He's doing a Q&A with us. He's welcoming us to the show. So he's going to be heavily involved. So tickets for that. We just signed in blood last night. So I just got that in my inbox. I was so excited to see that was official. So that'll be posted probably in the coming weeks. And I will say buy tickets, because all of our spooky shows later in the year, September, October, tend to sell out, and we're gonna have Barry fucking Bostwick here, so buy tickets ASAP. Yes. But that is our biggest event and probably most exciting show to date, so I'd love to see everybody there.
Absolutely. And where can we all find Charleston's Absent Friends online and keep up? How can we support the cast? What all can people find out?
Well, come to anything that we do. Seriously, it helps us so much. One ticket, it means so much to us. We've performed for 5 people. We've performed for over 200 people at a time. So buy tickets, support queer artists. Obviously, Instagram and Facebook. We are Charleston's Absent Friends on both of those. I post literally almost every day. I may be annoying, but hey, I'm getting the word out there, and I share a lot of other cool local events too that are happening. Like the horror series actually at Terrace. They're doing Nightmare on Elm Street 2 next month for Terror Vision. Yes. And there are queer themes, and the actor, I believe, wasn't out at the time but has since come out, so that's why they picked that one for Pride Month. Beautiful. So I really appreciate them doing that. So honestly, that's kind of like a little second Pride event y'all could go out and support. But really message us, come out and meet us, shake our hands in person. We'd
have a conversation.
Yeah. We're just people who like to play dress up still at the age of 34, and Jody being 25. So
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. And thank you. I just want to say too, obviously y'all are listening to the show. If you're hearing this, Kevin's everyone gets the max clap. Only if you're cool. Okay.
Yes.
So Kevin is basically what we're going to call him, an honorary cast member.
Yes.
He's been a huge support of the cast since obviously he's been coming to shows since 2016, but we really got to know him last year. So thank you to Kevin.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you all for all the work that you do. Again, one of my favorite things to do every month is come out to the show, talk to you all, and go to all the other events, do the panels. And I'm glad we could finally have you on the show.
Yeah.
I know that our audience watching and listening, thank you for being a part of the first video podcast here.
It was great.
And
We're number 1.
We're number one. He was number one.
Yeah.
Not
fun.
the last, because we already have more things
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the works.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you all for everything that you do. It has been an absolute blast to have you on there. Everybody, please go follow them. Come out to a show. Give them all the support that you can because they're amazing. And we'll see them again very soon on here. That's it for the Midnight Terrors podcast. Get in touch with us at Midnight Terrors Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Shoot us an email at midnightterrorspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be back with more episodes very soon. Thank you so much. Peace.